BNC, 100% black and brown host all day. Finally, news that speaks to us.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Kelly Wright, and thank you for joining us for this special coverage. Again, you're watching the special coverage of the U.S. Supreme Court confirmation hearings of Ketanji Brown Jackson. And of course, the judge has been having a rather good day. She did get roughed up a little bit by Senator Ted Cruz, a gentleman who perhaps knows her by being someone who went to school with her at Harvard Law School. Not that they were totally acquainted with each other, but they were in some of the same classes, seeing each other on campus. And he had some very pointed statements and arguments to raise with her. But we want to bring in our panelists right now to weigh in on this issue. Ameshia Cross, Pereira and J. Wyndal Gordon, they're joining us now to talk about this. It's been a long day for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, and one would expect this. She's had some good moments here. And the one moment where she got a little bit roughed up was with, I believe, Ted Cruz. Ameshia, let me begin with you. And what do you think Ted Cruz is really trying to get to? Because what he talked about in terms of critical race theory, as well as sentencing, as well as the 1619 Project, has nothing to do with what she will do as a Supreme Court justice. Where was he going with this argument?
Well, we know Ted Cruz was auditioning for 2022 and 2024 as a mainstay for the Republican Party. This is red meat for the Republican Party base, and he was using those policy talking points to draw in the ire of Republicans. At the same time, the RNC was tweeting out images of Ketanji Brown Jackson with a CRT label underneath her name. So I think we have to be aware of what's happening here. He knows that the base of the Republican Party is white and racist. He knows that they don't want to have inclusion, equity, or civil rights mentioned, and he was utilizing that. I do think that there is something to be said about Ketanji Brown Jackson stating very clearly that CRT is not even taught in the K-12 system. It is a subset of a law school curriculum, and that, quite frankly, for SCOTUS, not only her as a potential SCOTUS judge, but also the current seated justices, nobody is going to see CRT come across their desk at any point. It's not a federal issue. It's definitely not one that's going to be taken up by the highest court in the United States.
Marie, let me bring you in on this because when they first started the conversation, Ted Cruz was acting very friendly and kind, and you kind of knew he was up to something, as well as the judge. She knew that he was up to something as well. But they talked about their love of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., going back to the 1963 famous I Have a Dream speech, and how much Ted Cruz said he loved that. And then they even talked about the letter from the Birmingham jail. But what Ted Cruz failed to understand is that he didn't really read the letter to the Birmingham jail when he's talking about critical race theory and trying to raise the specter that perhaps Judge Ketanji Brown, who is married to a white man, has children from this wonderful relationship that she has with her husband, a blended family, the daughter of a lawyer. And he didn't understand what Dr. King said in that letter, saying, "I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in this stride toward freedom is not the white citizens counselor or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate." Did Ted Cruz forget that in his questioning of the judge?
Ted Cruz did not forget that at all. Ted Cruz is a very intelligent man. As Ameshia said, Ted Cruz put on a performance for his base of ignorant, racist, conspiracy theorists. And they are the ones who are going to be voting for him. And as I said before, this is not really a confirmation hearing in the sense of finding out who she is. It's a hearing to set themselves up for the upcoming elections. And that's that. So he knows exactly what the meaning of that speech meant. He's a Harvard educated lawyer, but he's throwing out excrements to feed into his base. And that's what that's all about. He's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's just putting it out there, knowing that his base is not going to do the research. They're going to see the sound bites. They're going to see the headings, and that's all they're going by when they go in to vote for the stupidity.
Jay, let me bring you in. Look, we want to be fair here. Ted Cruz has every right to question the judge as he sees fit, as well as Senator Lindsey Graham, as well as Senator Marsha Blackburn, who's already kind of indicated what she'll be talking about when she has the opportunity to do that. We've seen the Republicans come out, albeit that Senator Grassley actually complimented her, stating this morning that the best part about yesterday, according to Senator Grassley's wife, was the opening round, the speech coming from Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, and how eloquent and how good she was and strong she was. Republicans will have to overcome that at some point, because at the end of the day, this is a judge who is well liked, well supported by conservatives and liberals, blacks and whites, Republicans and Democrats alike. So how do you see this going throughout the rest of the confirmation process?
I think the die has been cast in terms of the votes. I think every senator knows how they vote. This is what I would call theater. This is political theater. It's for those individuals who are going to vote for her, to support her, and tell and use beautiful platitudes as to why they should support her. And it's for those who are not going to support her to pander to their base about whatever topic they deem is going to be necessary for their own existence. So I'm enjoying it. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm really enjoying it, not because I believe that any of their colloquies are going to determine a predetermined outcome, but I just like the maneuvering of the entire situation. I think she's demonstrating poise, grace, intelligence, any adjective that's positive that you can think of. Her temperament is right on point, the way she handles them. She doesn't get flustered. I'm just enjoying it, but I'm enjoying most how she responds to some of the ridiculousness, and then other times how she responds to the very serious questions. So it's all good to me.
I was talking with one of my legal friends, and I stated that what she's exemplifying is grace under fire and under pressure. We're going to take a slight break. Before we do, I want to just give a quote that Senator Chris Coon gave just before we went to the recess of the Senate Judiciary. He stated at the end of his statement with the judge, saying, "Our judicial robes are black, not red nor blue. They represent a judge's impartiality." And that's what this judge, Ketanji Brown Jackson, is exemplifying: impartiality. We'll be back with more of our special coverage of the confirmation hearings of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson here on BNC in just a moment.